I'll turn it over now to Emily, who's going to talk a little bit about global trends and how technology is helping procurement professionals. Emily?
Great, James. Thank you so much, and thank you, Margaret, for your great presentation. So I wanted to just share for a few minutes the SAP perspective on what we see happening across our customer base in procurement and what some of our customers are doing to try and support their required processes now. So from a trend standpoint, some of the things that James already mentioned earlier in the session are certainly true for our customers as well. There is certainly a continued focus on costs across both our private and public sector customers. I'd say in the downturn in 2008 and 2009, there was sort of a laser focus on cost management as companies struggled to maintain profitability during the downturn. But even coming out of that and into a recovery period, because procurement did so well for companies in the downturn, management saw the benefit that they bring to the table and is still asking them to do even more to continue the cost savings that they really delivered during those couple of tough years, and to instantiate the disciplines that they put in place during that time frame. So our customers are definitely looking at how they can standardize on those best practice processes that they have developed. The second trend we see is definitely around supplier risk management. Almost all of our customers, especially in manufacturing industries, are being scrutinized on their level of risk in their supply chain based on geopolitical actions that could be happening, based on natural risk factors that we've seen in the environment. So our customers are really looking to understand whether it's from a geographic issue or a geopolitical issue, which of their suppliers represents a risk to their supply chain, and how are they going to proactively mitigate that risk. So that's something that most of our customers are looking to do, and it's kind of struggling with methodologies and tools for that. So we're definitely helping customers in that area. The third area that I mentioned earlier is around corporate social responsibility and a focus specifically on sustainability. We see a lot of our customers putting in place new procedures and practices in these areas, having some dedicated staff in these areas, and again looking for new tools that can support the new processes that they are putting in place there. And then efficiency, of course, continues to be a focus for all of our customers. I can't remember the last time I talked to a customer who had a lot of new full-time resources at their disposal. So for the most part, our procurement customers are being tasked to do more with either the same resources or less resources. And so they're looking for ways that their people can refocus attention from kind of tactical tasks or paper pushing type of tasks into more strategic areas. They want their sourcing professionals, not to spend 4 months shuffling papers on an RFP, but instead to be really thinking about the sourcing strategy, working with the suppliers to understand what they bring to the table and making more strategic decisions. So they're looking at technology for ways to push the productivity envelope and really allow their people to focus on what's going to add the most value to the company or the organization. Next. So I wanted to just give a sense of the overall source-to-pay process that SAP supports, and this is, of course, the areas where we kind of know the most about what our customers are looking for. So in the area of spend analytics, this is an area that can be fraught with a lot of frustration and difficulty, depending how many sources of information you're dealing with and how clean or dirty that information is. It can be really hard to wrap your arms around your spending, to know what you're spending with which vendors and where your opportunities are for savings within that spending. So our customers definitely turn to our solutions there to help them. There's 3 main things that are important to remember about spend analysis. We kind of call it the 3 C's. So it's collect, cleanse, and classify. So you need to have a way to effectively batch up all of your data from your various systems and what you're spending and kind of normalize the formatting of that information. And then the cleansing process is you have to make sure that all of your supplier names are normalized so that they're all rolling up into the same organizations, and that you have enough information about the suppliers in your data set. And then the third area is around classifying the transactions that your company has been paying for. So understanding what categories of spending you're really spending money on and how many different suppliers you have in each of those categories, so that you can look for opportunities either for demand management or for sourcing leverage and rationalization of the supply base. So spend analysis is critical. This has probably been the #1 hot topic across our customers and others in the market that we've surveyed over the last couple of years, and it continues. It looks like it's continuing to be the hot topic. We're hoping that in a year or two, a lot of people will get this topic under control and it will no longer be the hot topic, but for now, it definitely continues to be a pain point. The next area that we support is around strategic sourcing. So for our customers who want to streamline that sourcing process and move it to an electronic version of the process where all of your RFX and tenders go out over an electronic system with supplier responses coming in a standardized way, so it's very easy to evaluate, very easy to justify your sourcing decision and show why you made specific decisions, and also very easy to electronically award that business. That definitely helps our customers shave a lot of time off of the sourcing process, and it enables them to do more sourcing in a specific time frame. So if before they could only source 30 or 40% of their spending in a year, now they're able to support 60 or 70% of their spending going through a sourcing process in the course of a year. So it can really improve that cycle time. The third area that we support is around contract management. This is another hot topic where customers realize that, where are our contracts and what do we really know about them? It's very hard for people who are either in procurement or in the contract management organization to be able to easily tell somebody who's out there dealing with a supplier exactly what the terms of the contract were or what they should expect from a supplier. So having this all organized into a single source of truth and a repository of your contracts is really important and critical to being able to proactively manage your business and proactively make sure that you're getting the right service levels from your suppliers, and that also as a customer of those suppliers, you're abiding by your end of the contract as well. That you're paying on time and that you're offering them whatever information they need to get their job done. So that's very important, and a lot of our customers have really been looking to assist them in order to get that contract visibility and management under control. The next area is around really the core operational procurement that we're probably most familiar with, which is the purchase request and purchase order management portion of the process, as well as invoice management. And so this is kind of the core SAP long-time system capabilities that exist within the ERP and the supplier relationship management capabilities of SAP, where it's got the employee and user purchasing functionality. On a couple of pages forward, I actually have a screenshot of our brand new user interface that's going to be coming out this year for SRM, which is very exciting. And we've also enabled mobile cart approval as well, because as James said earlier, workforces are becoming more and more mobile, and we don't want to see bottlenecks happening because somebody wasn't at their desk at the right moment. So we're enabling more and more capabilities in a mobile capacity here too. We've also noted that commodity procurement is a big issue, again, a lot of times among manufacturing companies that have to consume raw material in order to manufacture finished products. Things in the agriculture area and the metals area have been subject to very volatile pricing changes over the last several years. And so we've introduced some new functionality there for customers who need to manage their positions in commodities based on what they're procuring. So this actually integrates with the treasury and risk management function so that our customers can proactively take different positions in the commodities market based on what they're purchasing. And then invoicing is an interesting one. This is an area that I think has been e-enabled for a while, but it's still an area where customers struggle because it's hard to get those suppliers enabled on the right technology to get them to do electronic invoices. And so more and more of our customers are looking, again, for solutions that are easy to consume both by themselves and by their suppliers in order to do this electronic invoicing. And of course, we've got solutions there as well. And it's really one of the fast ROI pieces of the portfolio because it's very easy to understand the cost that the paper-based processes bring to the business. And when you take those costs out, it's very easy to show the return on that investment and justify that investment. And then the last piece I want to talk about here is the supplier management piece. So supplier management, again, has been another hot topic, especially around performance and risk management. And SAP has a couple of solutions in this area. I don't know if you can click forward. I think there's one more build on this slide. But we've got a couple of solutions here that actually help our customers to manage information about their suppliers and allow the suppliers to do self-service. So that's a real time savings too, to have the suppliers update their own profile information, their financials, their insurance certs, any kind of small business certifications, and all of that sort of information, so that's not so much heavy lifting on your side of the house. And so to have suppliers doing that, keeping that up to date, and then also having a place to share with them their performance information, to proactively collaborate with them on improving performance, and to talk about with them about risk factors that you see in their business and how to mitigate those. So that's really important. And that's really the set of processes that we're supporting in procurement. It's pretty comprehensive, and the other thing to note is that it's very modular. So, you know, if your company or your organization has a specific pain point to start with, like spend or contracts or whatever it might be, it's very easy to kind of start attacking that one problem in a modular fashion and then move on to other processes as you go. Next slide. Thanks. I've kind of mentioned a couple of these topics already, but SAP is very dedicated right now to specific development strategies, and some of these are represented on this slide. So we've been developing a lot of solutions. I'll start kind of at the top, in the cloud or on demand. Our information is telling us that about 80% of all transactions that are happening for procurement technology are for on-demand solutions, and more customers are looking for ways to be able to invest in these technologies in kind of a cost-effective way without having to justify enormous projects through their IT department or through their management. So this has been very popular for a lot of customers. They can do sourcing on demand, spend analytics on demand, contract management on demand. All of that is, of course, available in those different ways to consume the technology. Sustainability is a big topic for SAP, not just in how we support customers, but we're actually a company that has an entire sustainability group dedicated to making us as a company more environmentally responsible and things of that nature. So it's a big topic that we continue to build both into our technology as well as kind of have a corporate standard there. In-memory computing, or what we call HANA, is a very interesting technology. So for customers who have problems with big data or tons of data that they're trying to process, in-memory computing can basically cut down data processing times by as much as 95 to 99%. And so what we're seeing is for customers who have a huge amount of spending data, and it used to take them 10 minutes or 20 minutes to process a report, you can now get that report in 30 seconds with the advent of in-memory computing. So it's definitely a game changer and something a lot of our customers are very interested in. I talked a little bit about mobile already. We do work also with third-party solutions, so partners who host our solutions or provide value-added services. So we do have a really strong ecosystem, which can be important if you're a company that doesn't necessarily have best practices yet or is looking for consulting support or support in specific categories of spending where you might not have core competency. So working with third parties, and a lot of those third parties are certified with our solutions, so that's really helpful. Also, to take some of the cost out of implementing SAP software, we've been pursuing these rapid deployment solutions over the last several years. And we have several of our technologies that can be deployed on a fixed scope, fixed fee basis in like a 10-week time frame. And so that's been really useful for customers who need to really control the costs around implementing this kind of technology. We also, as some of you may know, acquired Business Objects a couple of years ago, which is an analytics technology, and we've been embedding a lot of that capability for dashboards and reports into all of our tools as well, so that's been very useful. And last but not least, usability. So this has been a big theme for SAP the last couple of years and continues to be. We know that our core ERP, R3 system from a decade ago was definitely not known for usability. People struggled with their, DOS controls and green screens and all this kind of stuff. So we've invested a ton in usability across, all of SAP solutions, inclusive of the procurement portfolio. And you really need to make sure that your procurement solutions are usable and adoptable if you're going to actually make an impact with those solutions. So if you want your end user employees to do the requisitioning online and follow your procedures, they have to be able to figure that out and do it for themselves. It shouldn't take 2 days of training to be able to do that. So we recognize that. We've been moving very much in that direction. And we've been seeing, lots of good adoption of these solutions in our customer base. Go to the next. And I mentioned before that different deployment models are being taken advantage of across our customers, and that's absolutely true. We still have several, lots of customers who want to deploy on-premise behind their firewall. We have lots who want to take advantage of on-demand options or hosted options, and we have some who want to work with our third-party business process outsourcing partners. So that's all capable of being done, and the interesting thing there is that no matter which models you choose, they all work together from an integration standpoint. So you can have a piece of the process that's on demand that then integrates with your on-premise back-end solution. And that's something that a lot of customers are excited about because it gives them more flexibility and when they want to make new investments in pieces of the portfolio. We also have a lot of customers who are interested in migrating between different models, and that's also quite possible with our solutions as well. We support kind of multi-directional changes of strategy for your IT department. So that's been really helpful for customers. And I talked a little bit about the new SRM user interface. This is just a very early preview of what we're going to be coming out with in 2012. But we've kind of looked at all of the best, greatest capabilities of consumer versions of buying processes, and we've really implemented that now into our SRM, making it very simple for users to get through the process all on one screen and have a very consistent user experience, very nice experience. Go to the next. And I really want to make the point again that you can think big and you can really want to transform all of your sourcing and procurement processes with technology enablement, and that's a great big vision for your future. But the way most of our customers achieve this is in very small pieces. So you want to, make an initial investment in the areas where you have the most pain, and then make your case for the ROI of that, and then move on to the next. And really, show the benefits of each piece as you go. And that's the way that a lot of our customers are actually funding their next investments in procurement technology. So they show the ROI on the first project, and then they fund the second project with their payback on the first project. So it's a good way to build a business case and figure out how you want to phase the different technologies in. Next. I just wanted to share a few kind of procurement excellence best practices that we've seen across our customers in order to really bring that procurement practice up to the standards of the best in the industries. So all of our customers are really going after what's not being proactively managed in their business, whether that's certain categories of spending or whether that's contracts or whether that's supplier risk. They're really looking to find what's not being well managed and instantiate some good practices there, and then the supporting processes and tools underneath that. They're definitely questioning demand where that makes sense. So not everything that a company or organization buys is probably necessary, and a lot of our customers, go after that demand management opportunity. We're also seeing a lot of customers build business plans with the lines of business or the groups that they're dealing with internally. So instead of procurement coming across as kind of the bad guy or the guy with the heavy hammer, really coming to businesses and say, we want to support you in maximizing your budget. So what can we do to help you build a business plan for the quarter, for the year that we track to together and work together on your projects? That's been very effective for a lot of customers. And in that process, also engaging champions in the business who want to work with procurement and support procurement's cause. Benchmarking against others in your industry or in your sector can be very useful as well to find out where you're kind of lagging or where you might be a leader and can share best practices. Connecting processes together is really the best way to realize wins. So a lot of times we say if you don't connect your sourcing to what actually happens in the procurement process, you might not be realizing the savings that you've negotiated. So you really need to make sure that the different processes you put in place are well connected and they're good automation there, so you don't have to manually ensure that all of your pricing and discounts are taking effect. And then the last thing is to market everything you do. So what we see in the best, best achieving customers is that they're very communicative. They tell their management all the time, like the key KPIs that they're hitting, and as well they communicate sideways and throughout the business as to what they're doing and how they're making it easier for the business to run. And really that's all I want to share from our customer experience, and I know we have some time for questions, James.
Yeah, thanks so much for sharing that.
You can skip through the next couple slides here.
I must say I really enjoyed really liked the picture of the new screen for the new interface, and I think it ties back to an earlier point out of our study, which was that people they want that consumer experience in the business because it really engages them, and it really is the way that we work and live today. So good stuff there.